Hello, Aquarius. This is a mid-September reading for your sign. I've been shuffling off camera. I'm letting you see that I am shuffling on camera. And now I'm dealing your cards. The entire first row is Pentacles. There's a lot of earth energy. It's an interesting spread already. Holy shit. With the Six of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Give me just 1 second to take this in. So I just want to point out again, like the entire first row is Pentacles. And then on the outer edges of the bottom row, you have Pentacles, and you have the Ace of Pentacles in the middle of the second row with the Devil next to it, which of course is Capricorn energy. So there's definitely an earthy kind of grounding vibe, which may be in contrast to your personality. If you don't have, if you're, an Aquarius, you tend to be more in your head. The stereotype of the Aquarius. I know that that's not true of everybody, and you may have a lot of earth energy in your chart, or you may be just dealing with a lot of earth energy, a lot of practical material matters during this time. There may be you may be dealing with some material lack, actually. Maybe you're in a place or have been in a place where you have been having to go without and are feeling kind of insecure about your finances or your material stability. But I feel like you're going to come into a situation where you're able to sort of stabilize it, and somebody's going to, if you're looking for a job, if you're unemployed or something, somebody may offer you a job and you'll have an opportunity to earn money. And I think that you'll be able to earn good money and stabilize your situation for sure. There's also, interestingly, like I said, again, top row all Pentacles, outer edges at the bottom row Pentacles, and you've got this earth energy in the middle, but surrounding them are two queens, the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups, both kind of looking in towards this. So I feel like, for one thing, that suggests that there's a lot of focus on this. There is a choice as well, I feel like, between staying stuck in an unsatisfying material situation and kind of striking out into a new one that I think is more favorable to you, that has a lot more to offer. I think you know what one situation has to offer, and with the other one, there's definitely a strong suggestion that it has something much more positive in store. With these queens, my first impulse was something of a choice between two people, but I really am not seeing any kind of romantic energy here at all. Those two are the only things that would be, and they're not necessarily romantic. The only one that's even emotional is you've got passion and emotion. And maybe it's something about having to balance those energies within yourself, your passion and your emotion. You need to rein them in with, like this Chariot here would suggest that a kind of taking control, reining those in, bringing them into balance so that you can make this decision clearly. You're not having your passions run away with you. You're not being overly viewing it through an overly emotional lens. And again, with all of these pentacles and all of this yellow, which to me represents solar plexus chakra, that you need to be grounded within yourself and kind of take a step back. Don't get overly emotional. Don't let your passions, if they get stirred up, affect the way that you're seeing things. Kind of keep bringing yourself back. Kind of keep grounding yourself in the present moment so that you are not letting these things steal from you. Because I do think that if you are pursuing the more mature, preferable path here, that it will yield a lot of. I also just noticed 777 here in this bottom left corner. I feel like this whole side kind of is generally a little more positive, even though this 7 is the 7 of Swords, which suggests somebody kind of stealing from you. Suggests somebody, particularly with the swords, maybe stealing your thoughts. Something's on your mind and taking, kind of distracting you. But these two, the 7 of Pentacles and the Chariot, both suggest. Seven of Pentacles, of course, is kind of a reward for work done. So if you are looking for a job and trying to get your material situation more stabilized, it suggests that there is a good harvest from what you do. After you've gotten into the situation and been able to work something out for yourself, I feel like it will stabilize things for you and you will be satisfied with what your compensation is. And you will feel like you're more in a position of power. Like you have more capability to do what you want to do, to go where you want to go, to live life more in a way where if you have constraints right now, it's not practical to do. I feel like if you do this, it will. If you do take a job, it will make it so that you can have a little more wiggle room, a little more freedom to rearrange things in a way that's more preferable, that's more to your preferences. Line this up a little bit better for the camera. And I do think that there is, as far as this situation or person that may be stealing your thoughts, and maybe it's just again, a reminder to ground with the 7 of Swords and this Page of Swords right next to each other. And be mindful of where your mind is going. Maybe it is just this financial, material situation that's kind of stealing your thoughts and making you uneasy, making you a little anxious. But the Page of Swords is reminding you to kind of take a step back, make sure that you're guarding your thoughts somewhat, that you're mindful, and this may be something that is repetitively coming up in your mind, and you're having a hard time shaking it, but there is, you can hold back just a little bit to stabilize yourself, to keep reminding yourself that, to keep yourself in a state of balance, and keep reminding yourself that things are all right. Things are going to work out. You just need to protect yourself. You need to do the basics. Don't let your mind run away with you. There's so much here suggesting like don't let your mind run away with you. Don't let yourself fall into anxiousness and doubt. Could you tell me more about this Seven of Swords, Two of Cups, and the Five of Wands? And then again, I want to look back at the Six of Cups here at the bottom of the deck. Perhaps there is a connection in all of this. I suggested, there wasn't a lot here to suggest that, except maybe these queens. But maybe you have this kind of turmoil, but then with your financial situation, this doubt and lack of clarity about how things are moving forward in your financial situation, but also there may be some kind of connection that is in disarray at the moment, something out of balance, and it may be a relationship. It may be, this may all just be suggesting, because the Two of Cups is, in addition to just being about relationships, it is just being about relationships. It's about a lot of things, but primarily people view it as a relationship kind of card. But it's also a card about balance, because these are two people who are equal, coming together, sharing equally. And then this Five of Wands is, about imbalance and confusion and chaos. So I feel like there is a connection here that is in a state of chaos, and it may just be that the situation in general you kind of feel like is out of balance and maybe to some extent out of your control, and it's stealing your thoughts. You'll know which one of those things resonates for you, but there is the suggestion of like pulling back and just trying to rebalance the situation, trying to make sure that it's not stealing your thoughts too much. Can I get a little more clarity on this? Page of Wands, the Moon. So I feel like, again, it's saying to basically be mindful of your part in these situations. If there's chaos, this didn't necessarily give me any more clarity as to whether or not it was a relationship or just a situation that you're dealing with. But to me, it's very similar to where the Seven of Swords, the dude's running away with the swords, he's stealing, he's trying to get away with something, and the Page of Swords is kind of holding back, saying, well, you're not going to steal from me. I'm going to be responsible for what's mine. And I'm getting that same vibe from this Five of Wands with the Page of Wands next to it, where he's kind of got his back turned to all of the chaos, and he's just focused on what he has control over. Both of these pages are saying, yeah, there may be this, you may be trying to do this, but I know who I am, and I know what I'm about, and I'm not going to let myself be dragged through all of this confusion. I'm not confused about what I'm about. So I feel like that's a pretty clear message, and I'm going to pull a couple more oracle cards, or a couple of oracle cards, because I haven't pulled any yet, but pull a couple of oracle cards and then close out the reading. Let that be that. I've also shuffled these off camera, so strategy at the bottom of the deck, the Temple Path, the Magician, and the Mirror. So I feel like you kind of need to be patient with this situation as it's unfolding, because it may not necessarily be At various times along the path, it may look like one thing and then another as your vantage point changes. It's making me think of Cape Lookout in Oregon, which is a great hike if you're ever in the Tillamook area of Oregon. And it's this like I want to say like mile, 2 miles that jetty out into the Pacific Ocean. And at one point you'll be in the forest and then it'll open up and you'll see the coastline either to the north or south, depending on what part of the hike you're on. And then you'll go back and you can see up the coast and it's beautiful. And then you'll go back into forest where you can't really see it that much. And then you'll come back out to the viewpoint again, just like 2 minutes later. But the coast will look very different. It looks like a completely different thing, even though like you've only traversed a little bit longer. I'm getting that vibe with your situation where it's like it'll look one way and then look another way, and it won't necessarily be totally clear exactly what you're dealing with, which makes a lot of sense. It totally supports the moon card here. It's the last card I pulled to clarify. But the Magician in the Mirror is suggesting to me that, again, you need to just bring your attention back inward and focus on you, not necessarily what's going on in the outer appearances. That just keeps coming up. To me, again, this Temple Path and the Magician in the Mirror this is mirroring the Seven of Swords and the Page of Swords and the Five of Wands and the Page of Wands, where it's that same kind of energy to me, where it's saying, yeah, you may not be able to tell what's going on, or things may appear chaotic or whatever, and you just need to keep your focus within. Don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt who you are. Don't let yourself be drawn off balance by people who are trying to take from you or manipulate you or confuse you. Because you know who you are. And you need to trust that. And with that, Aquarius, I'm going to close out the reading. I hope that it resonates with you, and I hope you have a good rest of your month. Take care of yourself. Bye.